yours, and also Michael and Leah and Edward Morgan's group, the help,
Yeah.
when people have to turn around, and of course you get paranormal investigators that get in over their head. um, what's the first thing they're going to do? They're either going to turn and run and just leave the client like it is, or they're going to contact
That's right.
you or uh, Michael and Leah's and Edward's group, or there, which there's several other good groups out there that does the same thing.
Yeah.
That's a way of, that's how you can tell if you have a
Hmm.
good group, is
Yeah.
because they're not ones that's just going to charge in there and start calling out a bunch of things and making it worse with the client. They're
Hmm.
going to stick with the client until the
Yeah.
client says, okay, that's
And
enough, we're fine. And when that group calls in another group to deal with this negative thing,
mhm.
um, then maybe they can, the client or the family can actually get back to a normalcy.
Yeah. Yeah. Your job is to come into a situation. You get to see people at the lowest point in their life, and you have to
Yeah.
be able to coach them into building the pieces back together. And then afterwards, what people don't understand, aftercare is probably one of the most important things that has to be done. Because yes, you can go in there in the name of Jesus, kick this thing out, kick out all its minions. Okay, good, great, it's gone. But when they leave, they feel these voids. When they leave, now the void is empty. You have these empty spaces. And if you don't fill it with something good, if you don't fill it with something holy, then these things are going to come back. And
Right.
but when they come back, they're going to come back more strong with seven more that is more powerful, and they're going to ransack the client and the whole family.
Good.
And that is the pivotal point in all of the case work, is the aftercare. If the aftercare is not done, these people are going to suffer.
Right. And also, like Michael said, if you're going to draw it out, it's your responsibility to the client to equip them.
Absolutely.
And Leah says once it's gone, you're still not done.
Oh no, you're not done. No.
Right. You have to feel the
That's
empty
right.
space that
Hmm.
this thing has drug everything away. You got to fill that empty space back up with blessings and
That's
and
right.
and things like that. So
That's right.
I agree, guys. That's totally right, and that's
Hmm.
exactly the way I feel.
Yeah.
And I try, and Leon, you just don't know how much I learn from you every time I talk with you.
Hmm.
And Mr. Edward, and when I had Michael and Leah and Edward on the show,
Hmm.
I kind of pick you guys for
Yeah.
information, and,
Yeah.
and because I am relatively new as a group in this field,
Yeah.
and I learn something every day.
Yeah.
Um, my whole onset with this thing is to help my clients,
Hmm.
because and I tell people all the time, because they ask me, well, why did you start your group? Why are you doing this? And then I say, well, look, I said, just say, for instance, hypothetically, you had a situation at home, you didn't understand what's going on,
Yeah.
and things are happening that's beyond your control, and you can't just call the police, or you
No.
can't just call your pastor, or you just can't call this person because they're going to think you're crazy.
Yeah.
Or especially if you call the police,
Yeah.
they're going to come in, they're going to first ask you what kind of drugs you're on,
That's right.
and so on and so forth. And that's their job. I'm not saying that's the wrong thing to do. That's their job, because they don't look at things the same way we do.
Hmm. Yeah.
And we go in there and kind of sit down, listen to the client, and because we've seen things like this,
Yeah.
Then we start working with the client. And of course, I know you check on the drugs and the
Yes.
mental
Yes.
capacity and the mental stability of the clients and even in the whole family.
Yes.
Um, and when that occurs, that's awesome
Mm-hmm.
because other people are going to react totally different.
Yeah.
Well, you're crazy. We need to put you on medicine. Well, you're a drug
Exactly.
addict. You've
Yeah.
got to go over here. And they may not have any issues like that. And it
Yeah.
may fully be something that they inadvertently opened up or
Yeah.
inadvertently invited into their house or even purchased something online that
That's
had
right.
something attached to it.
Mm-hmm. You know what? Just talking about this, I also want to stress that I've seen a lot of teams automatically say yes to something spiritual. They didn't do the debunking process. They saw a lot of teams that is quick to say, "Oh yes, you got a ghost," or "Oh yes, you got a demon." That they didn't investigate it first. What makes me think of that is this is a funny story. Back in the middle part of 2000, I had a friend of mine. He's into cosplay and stuff like that, and he's a real big Ghostbusters fanatic, and he started up a little group here, which I was a part of. It is called the Georgia Ghostbusters, in which we go to charity events, dressed up as the Ghostbusters and stuff like that, and birthday parties and so forth. But on the side, him and his team were kind of like an independent paranormal investigators. So he had, the full get up. He had his own version of an Ecto One, with the lights and sirens and all that. But he also had an agreement, which I don't know why I thought about this, but he had an agreement with the county to where if they get 911 calls, and these people claim that there's ghosts in the house, well, then they'll call them and they will respond out with the lights and sirens. And he said, Leon, throughout the whole process, we only got called once, and it was a little old lady, and he said it was fun to actually be able to go out with our lights and sirens, and when they got there, they was able to debunk it. It was squirrels in the wall. So they used their common sense and was able to say, ma'am, look, this little 85-year-old woman, she's by herself. Look, it's the squirrels in the wall.
Right.
So even something as simple as debunking something can also bring a lot of stability to someone, can make the fear go away. So we even debunk too. Whenever we go, we debunk if they're claiming that these things are happening. The doors are opening, stuff like that. We go there and try to debunk it too. If we can debunk it, it's a good chance that these people are thinking that they're experiencing something paranormal, but in reality, it's just normal.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Environmental changes
Yeah.
has a lot to do with things.
Yeah.
Cold outside, hot outside, that type of thing. Rain,
Absolutely.
sleet, snow. So, and we do approach that a lot of times in that method. Well, most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Sometimes when we uh, go in, we kind of leave things open. We
Mm-hmm.
don't really we may set our equipment up and that type of thing, but we don't immediately jump out there and start doing EVPs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Uh, we kind of let the environment and the conditions and stuff bring us around
Mm-hmm.
to what we need to do next.
Yeah.
We may sit there and talk with the client while our equipment is up and recording and that type of thing,
Yeah.
just strictly to see what kind of reactions we get with the environment
That's
with
right.
the. So it's not just immediately. And I tell people this, we don't, and I don't think it's a good idea. Just immediately go set your equipment up. Okay,
Yeah.
y'all, we're gonna go in here and do EVPs and talk to the spirit and so on and so forth. I don't think that's a good idea.
No, no. I'm like you, but for me, when I get to a case, our immediate expectancy there, I'm under the impression I'm coming into someone else's home.
Right.
So I want to build a rapport. I want to get to a place where we're comfortably having a conversation. We can let our hair down, relax. I know how to relax the atmosphere. I don't care if I got to throw in some jokes. I know how to connect with people. I'm a very easygoing person. I can get along probably with the paint on the wall. And just as soon as I feel that the atmosphere is not tense, that the atmosphere is relaxed and we're chilling, we are having good conversations, we're having probably goofy conversations, then I go into the aspect, do you mind if I bring in like a voice recorder, to record our interview session? And sometimes if I feel really comfortable, I say, do you mind if we video this interview session? Sure, fine. I've never gotten a no. I've always had a yes. But whenever we turn on the either the audio or the video recorders, I always say, hey, my name is so and so. My name is Leon Wilkes. Do you give me permission to record this video or audio session? And they'll say yes. So if they say no, if they change their mind and say no, well, that's fine too. We'll turn it off. I'm about setting a relaxed atmosphere, because if you don't, they're not going to tell you nothing.
Exactly.
Period. So throwing some jokes. I mean, who doesn't laugh at a good joke? I mean, come on. So, but usually when we come in, these people are scared to death. They're on edge, and maybe it's causing the spouses to be bickering and fighting right before we get there. I can sense that. Whenever we come into a situation, I know without a shadow of a doubt if they're having problems, if they're bickering. And how I calm that, I relax the atmosphere. I know how to do that. We chill out. We relax, and then when I feel that it's the right time to come in and say, let me tell y'all something. Let me express a concern. I'm feeling that I'm sensing that y'all are at odds. Okay, now's the time to stop. Why? Because the enemy is trying to break apart what God put together. I said, y'all would not be able to, if y'all are a married function, y'all would not be able to fight this off separately. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Because if you're a married couple, y'all are stronger together versus separated.
Sure.
So we like to go in, just fill out the atmosphere, and if it's tense, we like to relax it. And I've learned that you will learn a whole lot of info just by relaxing the atmosphere. Don't even ask a lot of questions. Why? Mm-hmm. Because if you let them ramble on, if you let them just talk, you will get those questions answered. You won't even have to ask many questions at all. You will already start to get the gist of what's going on, and how you need to go, what direction that you need to go in. So yeah, I like to talk to people, and that part of this whole process is the most enjoyable for me, because I get to know the people, I get to connect with them, and then from there we slowly enter into the next phase.
Well, and I've seen this happen. You have people that's interviewing,
Mhm.
the client, and it